Since 2016, Four Paws has rescued 11 bears from Albania. Of those, 6 were restaurant bears. Their lives were things of horror, spending years trapped in tiny cages. And this is where we found Mark, trapped next to a busy street for the last 20 years. But thanks to your support, Four Paws was able to save him. Join us as we rescue him and finally put an end to Albania's restaurant bear captivity. Our journey starts early in Vienna as the Four Paws team gets ready to travel to Albania. It's a 1,300-kilometre journey to the capital, Tirana. And wasting no time, the team are anxious to finally see Mark. But the reality of Mark's living situation, where he has lived for the last 2 decades, is shocking.
Even though I've looked at all the pictures of the enclosure and I already thought it's incredibly sad, if you're here and seeing it, it seems even smaller, and the whole floor is just concrete, it's wet. When we arrived in the morning today, I think the first 2 or 3 hours he was not moving at all. He was just lying down in his cave and with no possibility to retreat at all. But yeah, he seems really, really calm. He's observing us, and maybe I wonder is he realizing that something is going to happen because there are people around him now. Because now it's only going to be summer days in this enclosure, and after 20 years it will finally be empty, which is amazing.
Whilst some of the team check on Mark's condition, others are meeting with his current owner, who recently took over the restaurant and wants to give Mark a better life. The time has finally come for Mark to be handed over to Four Paws.
It's relieving that we signed the papers, and Mark now belongs to us, to Four Paws, and we can transfer him to Bear Sanctuary Abelsbach in Austria, where he will have species appropriate conditions. And we are really relieved that the signature is with us, and that the current owner is happy to hand Mark to us, so that Mark can really enjoy the rest of his life. And this is the sanctuary where Mark is going. And you can visit Mark anytime you want. You are very much invited to visit him in Abelsbach, and we will definitely send you, pictures and reports so that you know how he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Thank you very much.
The next chapter of Mark's life is about to begin, where the concrete and steel he has always known will soon be replaced by grass and trees. As the sun rises on another beautiful day in Tirana, the team sets out to continue preparations for Mark's rescue. And today, vet Julia has arrived in Tirana and is keen to check on Mark's health.
Yeah, when you look at him, you can see he's quite a big bear, and also when he's walking and moving, you can see that he's pretty stiff, because being overweight is not good for the joints. Most of the time they develop arthrosis in the knees and in the hips, and that's a very common thing in bears that are kept in these suboptimal conditions.
Meanwhile, animal caretaker Galinda is working to build Mark's trust in order to make his journey easier and less stressful.
it will be good if he's not afraid of people, because he will be for some days in a very small transport box, and if he trusts people, it will be also possible to give him some vegetables or fruits that contain water on the way. And also in a new environment, how crazy will that be for him, like after being 20 years in this cage, knowing the whole world only from this perspective, to come in a completely new environment in Austria, only grass on the ground, will be for him like magic being on the moon. And it will be good if he's trusting people when they introduce him in his new environment. Yeah. He's a big guy, but we shouldn't underestimate that there are also quite shy souls in there. Yeah.
Due to Mark's size, he cannot fit through the small door of his cage. So now it is necessary to cut through some of the steel bars to allow the rescue to go ahead.
Mark's cage has finally been destroyed. It was a very emotional scene because Mark was put into this cage more than 20 years ago. He never left the cage for 20 years and now he's ready to get out.
Mark has only one more night in this cage before his life will change forever. The day has finally come, and the Four Paws team is full of anticipation and excitement to finally rescue Mark.
He's going to get a top-up of anesthesia drugs because he's a quite big bear with a big layer of fat. So I think some of the drugs from the first start went in the fat and then they get resorbed slowly. And when we just tested him, he was still able to move his head a little bit. So it's still too dangerous to go in there. So I will have to give him a little bit more.
With Mark now safely under anaesthesia, the team are finally able to approach him and start checking his health.
You can see that the tip of the tooth is broken off, and this black thing in the middle is the root channel that is open, and that for sure will cause infections in the jaw. And this can happen when they bite with their teeth on the steel, and the teeth are just not as stable as steel, and then the teeth break. Yeah, so when he's in Austria, we have to make X-rays because you can feel that there's already some crepitation. He's walking so stiff, and of course with having way too much weight for a bear, being too heavy, the age, no muscles. He will have big problems with his joints, yeah.
Now, the toughest physical challenge of this mission begins. Lifting the 250-kilogram bear out of his cage and into the transport crate. And this is the only way out.
One short break and check his breathing.
Well
Well done. That looked easy.
It looks easy, yeah.
The team carefully put him into his transport crate. Mark is one step closer to his new life.
No.
And with a final goodbye from his old caretakers, Mark is ready to start the long journey to Austria. After 20 years, Mark's cage is finally empty. No bear will ever suffer in here again.
It's dinner time for Mark, and we really tried everything. Carrots, he doesn't like.
Cucumbers he doesn't like.
We tried the apple, he also didn't want it.
But what he likes very much are grapes.
So this will be a grape-only dinner.
After driving through 7 countries, 44 hours, and many grapes later, Mark has finally made it to his new home.
We just crossed the last border and made it to Austria. So Mark, get prepared and welcome to your new life.
Excited to see him coming out and to see how he finally reacts. The moment has come.
Is now free to live a species-appropriate life. He will never walk on concrete again, thanks to the hard work and dedication of the Four Paws team. But none of this would have been possible without your support. Thank you for helping us rescue Mark, Albania's last restaurant bear.